Hello, back again for another vlog. Today was apparently National Donut Day, and so I had donuts today at my prac. Yes, so good. Um, Other than that, I had a pretty good day. I worked really well at my practicum, which I liked. It rained a bit, so it was kind of cold, and we went outside while it was raining. It kind of sucked, but it wasn't that bad. It was fine. Um, the rest of today, I didn't really do much now that I think about it. I kind of just stayed in my room, I showered, and just talked with my friend for a bit. That was about it. I just spent the rest of my day just talking to this guy. I didn't really do much else, to be honest. So yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. This guy that I'm talking to, you know, he's cool, right? I play games with him. But sometimes when we talk, I just get frustrated. Not like in a screaming in anger kind of way, but just like he says some things and then I disagree with it, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I just have to stay mad, I guess. Because I guess his beliefs are so important that there's really no way to change his mind. Not that I should. He can believe in whatever he wants. But I don't know, it's frustrating sometimes. I don't know if it should be frustrating. But I guess I'm just intense, so yeah, maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's always been my fault. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just exploring, I guess, living life, and yeah. I'm hoping to go to the movies tomorrow with this guy, but we'll see if it actually happens or not, because he might be busy. But yeah, it's kind of like a flip-flop between this guy and my boyfriend, because it's like sometimes this guy is insufferable, and so I feel like, oh, my boyfriend is so good, I'm so happy I have it. But then I talk to my boyfriend and I'm like, oh, he's so insufferable. Good thing I have this guy that I can talk to who's always there for me. And it's like, it's really weird. It feels like a lose-lose no matter what I do. Maybe I should be happy that I have both of them in my life rather than neither. Because I don't know, would I be better off without either of them? Probably not. So maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. I probably am the problem. You know? I don't know if I have borderline personality disorder. I never got diagnosed with it. But one of the difficulties that people have who are diagnosed with borderline personality disorder is that they struggle to maintain relationships. And I feel like that's something that I might struggle with as well. Because I feel like no matter what I do or what I say, I'm always making things worse. Whether I speak my truth, whether I hold it back, I feel like no matter what I say, I just make things worse. Maybe I'm overthinking. I don't know. don't know if I'll ever, it just feels like I'll never find someone who's compatible with me. Feels like I have to settle for someone meh at best. You know? Does that make me picky? Probably, but am I picky if the people that I currently am with make me feel meh sometimes? Maybe that's just life. Maybe it's okay to feel meh sometimes or feel bad sometimes, even if it's someone that you love that's making you feel that way. Because it's impossible to be perfect. No one is perfect. So maybe I should just stop being a bitch and accept that my standards are way too high and that I shouldn't expect people to know what I'm thinking every single second and to not expect people to be perfect. So yeah, chances are I probably am the issue, and I need to focus on self-improvement so I can be more accepting. It just feels like I'm going insane sometimes. It feels like the things that I'm asking for are so simple, and yet I feel like I can't get those things. You know? If I mention not wanting to talk to this guy about his beliefs or his conspiracy theories, you know, that's just something I can't ask for because it's his life. So it's it's a rough situation. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I feel mixed. I like this guy, but I also hate this guy at the same time. I want this guy out of my life, but I also can't imagine my life without him. Same thing goes for my boyfriend, I guess, but I think he's a little better, in my opinion. He's a little more my kind of person. He's more like, he thinks in a similar way that I do. He's not as, so, his spirit, he's not, spiritual, he doesn't have these beliefs that, affect his life to such an extent, He just talks about, his job, his regular stuff, And I think I prefer that over the spiritual stuff and the belief stuff that this other guy talks about all the time. Because it's just so vastly different from my beliefs. I don't see how we could ever be compatible together when we have such vastly different beliefs and ways of living. It feels like in order for me to be compatible with this guy, I have to believe in the things that he believes in. Although that might not be true, because he did say that I could just believe in what I believe based off my own personal experiences, but if my own personal experiences revolve around, talking to you every day, then sooner or later, eventually, I'm going to just become this guy and become spiritual as well and believe in all the stuff that he believes in, right? It'll eventually, convince me of his ways. Maybe. Because I feel like I just have to give up, my beliefs. Because if I don't give up my beliefs, then we're just going to constantly argue. We're going to constantly have disagreements about everything. And I don't like those arguments. Because they make me feel bad. And they're very frustrating. I just want to talk about stuff that doesn't make me feel bad. I don't like feeling bad. But sometimes when I talk to this person, it's lovely, It can be amazing. But then sometimes we talk and I feel like this is the worst person ever in my life right now. Like, even worse than my parents. Like, my parents are actually coming around to being good people, but I feel like this person sometimes makes me worse, you know? Like, I feel like I just am a more angry person sometimes because of him. You know? He's a very challenging person to be with, to talk to sometimes. It can be very challenging, and I don't know if I'm up for that challenge. I don't know if it's worth the wait. I don't know if it's worth the time and the dedication to talk to this person and, constantly have to deal with these situations that make me feel uncomfortable. I don't know if I can put up with that for much longer. But I mean, I kind of already have been putting up with them for like 5 months, so maybe I can deal with it as long as I get to experience the good moments. I've also been really sick recently. I have this super horrible cough. I can't stop coughing. I think I got sick from one of the kids or something, because I just can't stop fucking coughing. And I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me or this person. I feel like I'm going insane. I legitimately feel like I'm going insane sometimes when I talk to this person, because it's like, it feels like half the things he says just come out straight out of his ass, like he just made them up on the spot. Like, some of the things he says, like it's unreal, it doesn't feel real sometimes that this is a real person that I'm speaking to, because it's like I could talk about literally anything and he comes up with something and I don't know how to, respond or react, because I guess I'm an intense person in the fact that I also have very strong beliefs. I just don't say them out loud most of the time. And so whenever someone says something that I disagree with, it affects me a lot. Because this guy's all spiritual, kind of religious, talks about God and stuff, and talks about all sorts of theories. I call them conspiracy theories, but he says he's not a conspiracy theorist, so I don't know what to call him, just a believer, a wolf, or whatever, because everyone is sheep for him, apparently. He's a free thinker, or whatever. I don't know what to do. I like this guy, but I hate him at the same time. He has a good body, and he's attractive. But sometimes the words that come out of his mouth make me feel just irrationally angry or frustrated. And I can do nothing but just accept that that's who he is, and that there's nothing I can do to change that. There's nothing I can do to change his beliefs. And I just have to, accept what he says, He said it's okay for me to disagree with him. But whenever we do disagree, I feel like I have to, spend so much time researching and looking at articles and stuff, and I'm always in a bad mood when I do that. Because I'm essentially just intensifying an argument. So it's either I try to disprove his points and try to make him think differently, or I just accept that, okay, sure, that's what you believe, but I don't believe that. And then I have to talk. It's like talking to like a conservative person. It kind of feels like that. You can never really win an argument, no matter what you say. You can never, it's like talking about politics. I hate politics. It always, I'm not a very political person. I mean, I am political in that I have my beliefs. I just don't like talking about politics. And I don't know, it just feels like talking to politics. Talking about politics with this guy 24/7. Except instead of politics, it's beliefs, which, I feel like is a subset of politics, or politics is a subset of beliefs. You believe that you're doing what is best for your country or whatever. He believes that what he believes in is best for his life or his future or his existence or whatever. But is it really better if it makes me feel like shit? Mentioning that the aluminum or whatever in my deodorant is bad for me because in 20 or 30 years it'll make me, it'll enter my bloodstream or whatever. Does that really help? Mentioning that? We're all gonna fucking die anyways. You vape. And you're telling me that this deodorant is potentially harmful for me in 20 to 30 years? What? It feels so hypocritical, you know what I mean? Mentioning all these dangers and things that I should worry about. But then this guy, he vapes. And he says that he's gonna stop, eating sugar. But then he had 2 soda drinks that day. If you have these beliefs, why don't you believe in them? It's like you have these beliefs, but then you don't actually reflect that in your day-to-day life, right? He told me that Oreos are satanic, but then he still gets an Oreo McFlurry or whatever. He still likes Oreos. So it just doesn't. I don't really understand what the point is. What's the point in believing all this stuff? I don't understand. Does it make you feel good to believe in this stuff? I don't really understand. I don't understand how this could have happened, how is it possible for someone to believe in all of these things and then not, act upon them in your life, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much because I'm an overthinker. Maybe it's my fault for thinking too much, for thinking too hard. Maybe it's my fault for nitpicking all the small details and noticing all the little inconsistencies. Is it my fault for overanalyzing everything? Am I responsible for even talking to this guy in the first place? It's hard. Because part of me loves him, but part of me hates him with all my gut whenever we talk about this stuff. You know what I mean? It's very difficult. It's a very difficult situation. I don't know how to feel. It's kind of like an old married couple, you know, like they argue, they bicker, but they still love each other, you know? I feel like it's kind of like similar. Where like you can argue and you can still disagree with people that you like, right? And you can still like them afterwards. You know? I believe that that could make the relationship even stronger. Because that says that you can stick through with each other even when you're at your worst. You can deal with each other even when that person is at their worst. He can deal with me when I'm at his worst, or he can deal with me when I'm at my worst. I can deal with him when he's at his worst. So does that mean we're just gonna be in a relationship or something now? I don't know what we are. We're friends. I'm in a relationship, an open relationship. We talk, we have sex. But then we're not gonna be in a relationship. So does it really matter if we're just friends with benefits? I don't know. This is too much for me to think about. I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night.